What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be watching how FaZe Rain plays Cave, and by the end of the video you'll understand when to play Cave alone, when to double up in Cave, and why you would do both things in both scenarios. Rain has been a Cave player since pretty much the release of Ancient. He's been playing it the entire time on the same team, so of any Cave players to watch, he's probably going to be the person you want to learn from if you do want to watch demos yourself. And if you need help watching demos at all, go ahead and check out my coaching. I'll link it down below. It's on my Medify. But first round looks like they're going to go for a double setup in here. And notice how... Who is this that's tucked? So Broky's tucked against this wall, and he's purposely not peeking so that when the T's run out, if they were to flash, like if there was anything that was supposed to happen here, Broky could essentially just like, you know, if they flash, he's playing anti-flash. And if they come in, then he can just like tuck out a little wider. And then he's playing top and bottom with Rain. That's probably their setup here. Yeah, so this is all pretty normal and pretty much a stalemate right now between the two teams. So something you want to know, guys, to take into your own game is Cave control is not something that you need on a T default. You really only need Cave control when you're going to execute B. You want to take Cave at the same time as your teammates coming up the ramp. And the reason why is because if you get up here, but you're not ready to execute B, cool. What do you really get out of this? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can smoke long, you can smoke short, you can throw flashes, mollies, whatever. But, you know, you can just get smoked off, or you can just get mollied. Like, you don't really want to do a site exec from Cave. You only want to use Cave for splits. So if your team isn't ready to go up the ramp, there's no point in going into Cave and risking this kind of setup, right? This is not something that is a high percentage fight. You will pretty much lose this fight probably 70% of the time. If you're coming through this tunnel and, you know, you have to clear left, you have to clear right. If there's one of the guys here, first guy probably dies, second guy might not get the trade, right? So it's not great odds going to Cave, and it's not really needed on a default anyway. So after enough time has passed, Rain goes for a peek. He wants to get proactive, but they're not really in a setup to. Now that his teammates start getting pressured in mid, they might re-aggro this. But again, the issue with re-aggroing this is because it's so tight. If there's just one T sitting here holding, you probably die. So it's a weird place to try and re-aggress. It's also a weird place to be like, to not re-aggress, right? Especially in this scenario because they don't have B ramp control. They don't have a main control. And they don't have mid. They have players in donut kind of just waiting. So now that mid contact has happened, Rain comes off cat with Broky. This is all normal. And Rain is just playing to trade. Now they're going to double up and take the 2v1. Rain actually makes a mistake here. This is a mistake. So what's happening is Broky is going wide, but Rain is tucking close. And when you're in a 2v1, a 3v1, whatever, you don't want to give away 1v1s. You want to make sure that everyone's as tradable as they can be. What Rain is doing by going wide here is actually allowing, who is this? Suhei to get a free 1v1 onto Broky. This is a pretty big mistake. And Broky the entire time has been hugging this left wall. So I don't know what Rain was thinking here, but this is actually a pretty big mistake, and this could win Suhei the round. So Suhei doesn't kill Broky, but, you know, think of that scenario again. Like, think of it like this. Suhei peeks out, kills Broky, and then, boom, 1v1. All right, no trade potential on this kill. Yeah, but FaZe end up picking up the round. All right, so into round number 2, something that's kind of important to notice from Rain is that he's not getting any utility. And as the Cave player, as the Cheetah player, you need a molly or a nade to try and deny this cat rush, because you need a nade that pops around here to slow the T down running into Cheetah, and it kind of gives you a better spawn, because now the best spawn from T side is no longer the best spawn because you naded him and slowed him down. Yes, it also does damage. The molly could potentially kill him, but as the Cheetah player, you want to be throwing this molly nade combo pretty much every single round. But it looks like him and... No, so Kerrigan actually threw it for him. And Mao's opted to smoke off Cheetah this round, so Rain doesn't want to play close. He also blinded himself. He's just playing to spam. Kerrigan went down. Ooh, okay, so this is kind of an interesting play. So they smoke doors, and I'm assuming that FaZe are probably going to be doing this on their default a lot, or have done it on their defaults a lot. Because from Mao's perspective, no one was fighting down Cat. No one was fighting out Cheetah. Kerrigan's kind of making a solo play here. And yeah, this is not percentage-wise. If Mao's know this is coming, they're probably going to kill Kerrigan like 90% of the time. But because it doesn't look like FaZe are fighting down, you know, Rain is sitting back here spamming the cubby. He was spamming here. This looks like it's just playing, like the B players are just playing 1-1, one Cheetah, one site. So Kerrigan walking down here, yes, it looks stupid because he's solo aggressing, but it's off of this read that he knows that Maus have, that they're not fighting down B, correct? Also, I'm sorry about my cursor being on the screen every now and then. CS released this update where the demos get kind of messed up, but all good. So round number 3 has full util. We'll probably see him do the cat molly and the nade. Yep, this is pretty normal stuff. Comes up Cheetah. His teammates are fighting from mid, and... Okay, so both of them are doubled up here fighting mid. I'm assuming... Did the CT smoke this? No, the T smoked Rain's molly. So this smoke will actually sometimes help the CTs. If the CTs can clear out this close area, then this is a smoke that not the CTs will throw, but the CTs will throw a smoke like around this area to try and deny any cat players being able to fight mid or come off cat at the same time as their mid players. So this smoke, if the CTs can peek out and clear close to smoke, might actually help the CTs. So I want to see if Rain ends up... Yep. So now that he killed that guy... You know, it's smoked. He can just focus on fighting towards mid. Yeah, pretty normal stuff here, but it's all what we expect, right? It's Rain. Ooh, I want to see that lineup. What is this a smoke for? So he lined up with the right side of the sign, and that was a W tap jump throw. Aha, it's the smoke I was talking about. Ooh. And it actually pops pretty wide, too. Pops up top. Okay, cool. Good to know. So he throws that smoke, he mollies on ramp, and this is a set round from FaZe. This is very... on set rounds, there's not a ton of stuff to analyze other than macro things. So basically what Rain's job here is he's just doing B pressure. He's just denying B, making sure that the T's don't have B for free, even though... FaZe's numbers are not towards B, they were towards mid and towards A. That's why you see him just doing the smoke. That's why you see him doing this molly on ramp. This might look like 2 B players, so then Maus is a little bit confused and don't know what FaZe's setup are. Rain's job is not to die. If Rain dies here by T's coming up ramp, then the round is essentially lost for FaZe. The rotates are super slow. The quickest rotate is right here, so by the time he gets over here, the T's could have all of long. By the time he jumps up cat, T's could have cave. So Rain's job is just to do B pressure and not die. Those are the only 2 things he has to do this round. So he smokes the ramp. This is a good play, but it's very normal. It's very normal. So the more normal plays are that you do, especially close to smokes, the more likely you are to get spammed. So if you ever see a smoke like this and you want to play in front of it, just beware that a lot of good players will spam this because this is a pretty common play. So now he's just backing up to a more passive angle. Smoke faded. He doesn't really want to be on site because, again, if he dies, look where his rotates are. They're a little bit quicker now, but he still doesn't want to die. He doesn't want to like commit his life into sight. If he can just spot them coming up ramp, maybe do a little bit of damage, and then maintain long control for the rotates to come in, this is like an ideal scenario. 1 kill. Sees the second guy. The second guy probably doesn't expect him to fight because this looks like Rain is playing retake. That's why Rain goes for this peek, because this could be a free kill because Torji thinks Rain should be falling off here, which theoretically, yes, Rain should be actually. So now that Rain kind of missed his chance, he backs up, doubles up with his teammate. Torji hits a blinder on him. Yeah. And then who is it? Yimfat. Does Jimmy win these? Oh my god, he does. Oh, that was a good nade. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So we saw Rain drop his molly over towards mid. That means that the mid player is probably going to molly and then run away. I'm assuming the player who's committed to mid should... Okay, this is going to be really weird. So he dropped a molly over here. So the guy who's mollying mid should come back and grab it, but they're playing committed on mid, so maybe this is just a molly for the rotate because he doesn't really need it. I think what's probably going to happen is Rain might try and hide. I think he's going to try and hide behind like double or play somewhere kind of retakey on A because he's a B player. That's why I kind of like jumped on this round, is because he's a B player. Yeah. So, okay. So the reason why he's doing this is because if the enemy team kills the A player in mid or kills him at B, they might assume that A is clear. And you know what they'll end up doing is they'll smoke, they'll throw mollies, they'll do all this stuff. This generally doesn't get mollied. And if they fight the mid or the A player outside of A, somewhere over here, they can assume that the site is clear. So if A player is here, I get out here, you know, this is probably the A player, right? But Rain is the A player this round. That is like the theory behind a round like this. Something that's also kind of important to note is because if there's so many numbers in mid, that means that there's probably only one towards A if there is going to be someone A. And because they're on pistols, who do you think wins this fight? The M4 or let's say like the Tech 9 or the Deagle? Percentage-wise, it's going to be the M4. So that's why Rain takes this fight, is because percentage-wise, it's probably better to take this fight than potentially let them walk onto site, maybe catch a gap in a donut, or maybe catch a gap and kill Rain. This is just a higher percentage than trying to play against a solo lurk and full hide. Yep, he just hears him a main, free kill. Molly on towards Cat. He missed it. I was going to say that looked pretty far right. Molly on Cat as well. Spam. Again, all very normal stuff. And this is probably FaZe's default round. So what default rounds on CT side Ancient look like is you have A player, you have a donut slash mid player. Your opper is the float between mid and between B. You have a B site player and a cave player. So this floater will pretty much decide where he wants to go. So this kind of gives some variation in your default. But for the most part, this is what the setup is on CT side pretty much at all times. And this is the default setup because Brokey can rotate to mid if the T's pressure mid. He can help at B if the T's pressure B. Rops is solo A, so he should play retake after a long enough time. You'll probably see him fall back to temple, fall back to default, or even fall back to spawn. And if Frozen went towards donut, Rops could also even go towards donut, and they could try and play retake A. From donut, they double fight mid, they double fight A, etc., etc. So this flash on the ramp, yeah. Oh man, okay. Yeah, Kerrigan gets that kill. Oh my god. So that wasn't really planned. I mean, like, obviously Kerrigan wanted to go through the smoke, but that is super, super unlucky for Mouse that Kerrigan went through undetected. And then Rain was ready for someone to be close in the smoke. I think that Kerrigan probably called out there's a guy behind him in the smoke, because I think he might have made a step. He probably shouldn't have, but if he did, that was definitely a call that Kerrigan made for Rain to clear. So now we're going to see Brokey starting over towards B. And, okay, he just starts short. Nothing too crazy. Again, standard setup. One B player, one K player, one floater, who's generally the opper. I just deviced my monitor. One house, one... So they're playing retake on A right now is what's going on. And you remember how I said Rops was playing retake on A? You know, he could play it from here, 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 or like, you know, here, something like this. If he's going to be playing retake A anyway, might as well help with the mid fight if the floater is going to be towards B. That is the thought process behind this round. They're gambling that Mouse don't do an A rush, which they're not. And if Mouse don't do an A rush, then they're very well set up for whatever Mouse are going to do. Also, I think Frozen sitting in a house smoke here, if the T's were to come out mid, Frozen would probably be throwing some sort of util from house just to kind of bait for Rops. I don't know how these kills went down. But yeah, if the A player is going to be sitting in mid cubby, the other team probably won't expect it. So you want the actual mid player to bait like he's playing retake on mid. Pretty aggressive from Rain. So the issue with this peak is the shadow in Cheetah, actually. So if you ever try to aggress Cheetah or peek on any of these angles, this light will actually give away where you are. So if we look at this perspective... You see a shadow right there? This peak is pretty damn terrible for anyone who is a Cheetah player. And this kill looks super, super straightforward for Yimpat. I don't even have to watch his POV beforehand. I just know this kill looks super easy. So he even saw... So even though he's peeking Rain right now, he was able to recognize Rain was here off of this shadow. And yes, you need time to react, but now he's reacting to this rather than reacting to this, correct? So his reaction time is going to be a lot quicker here. That's why this peek looked so insane from Rain's perspective, is because Yimfat knew that he was there before he actually knew that he was there, right? And like, yes, Rain missed a shot. Yes, Brolin hit a good shot. This was not Yimfat, actually. It's just Yimfat's profile picture. But yeah. But so notice all these little like nuanced details I'm talking about. This is all like pretty normal stuff for a Cave player. The Cave is has to do with a lot of micro decision making because you are kind of on your own here, right? You don't really have too much support from mid unless they jump up cat box, which gets mollied pretty much every round in tier 1 CS if the T's aren't going mid fast. So unless your teammates are doing like a down cat fight or something like that, you're really on your own here. So a lot of these things are very like little niche micro things where, oh yeah, this light gives this shadow away. This slight off angle is really good. You know, you want to play on here later. Like, you know, all this stuff is very micro based. And then once you fall back after the beginning of the round and look at the big picture of the round, that's when you want to double up with your B player and figure out where you're going. And you'll notice how Rain won't really stay in Cheetah alone too long. He did the last round, but that was kind of because he was trying to be an eco Cobra. But he wanted to fall back to site, or that should have been what he did. And the reason why is because think of it like this. If the other team is going to try and split B, so they do cave and they do ramp, do you think it's better to have one guy fighting 2 people in cave or 3 people in cave and one guy fighting 2 or 3 people on ramp? Or double up and take, let's say, a 2v2 or a 2v3 versus taking 2 different 1v2s or 1v3s, right? It's going to be the 2v2s or 2v3s. And that's why you'll see, that's why I was saying Rain should have fallen back. That's why you'll see a lot of teams just double up on B site and, you know, they'll double re-aggro the ramp. They will double up in cave and play retake on B site just so they can maintain cave control. And this is a concept that goes for pretty much every single site on every single map. Is you want to double up and fight one side of the split if you can get split and you only have 2 people on the site. So let's take also, you know, A site Mirage, for example. Do you want to hard fight mid or do you want to hard fight A? That's why you'll see a lot of 3A setups and a lot of 3 mid setups, because if the T's plan is to try and split A site, they're going to go through mid and they're going to go through A site. So you want everyone fighting one side of the split and not have like, you know, little 1v2s or 1v3s, because that's what the other team wants. They want the 1v2s. They want the 1v3s because percentage-wise, you are losing that. It is a 1v2 or a 1v3, right? And yes, I kind of went on a little bit of a rant here, but this is a huge part of holding sites and locking down, especially a place like Cave. This is a concept you need to know. So he's playing kind of aggressive here. Also, kind of the theory behind this angle is it's not so wide to the point where if a T walks through the smoke and clears this, you know, he sees him, but it's also not too tight against this wall. Actually, it is it? I don't know. I think if a T comes through this, he might see that, like, you know, he's not in this corner and then might look past it. Rain is kind of, he's just doing his thing. There's nothing behind this. He's just doing his thing. But yeah, again, so he's playing really aggressive in cave again. So this is probably maybe a little bit of an anti-strat. So if Rain played out of Cheetah a lot in previous games, that means that Mouse will see that and then try and walk into Cheetah probably, or take Cheetah, you know, with 1 or 2 people with less numbers, because the likelihood that Rain is going to be in Cheetah is going to be a lot lower. So Rain might know this and then switch up the way that he plays in this game based on the games he had in the past. This is something that a lot of players do, a lot of teams do, and in Tier 1 CS, you kind of need to do this. You need to constantly switch up your game based on your previous games to try and out-predict what the other team is going to predict you're going to do, right? It's all mind games. It's all mind games. This is a great spam on towards bottom mid. This is going to be a great nade as well. If he ran through that, unlucky. If he just normal through it, it's probably really good. I do not think he meant for it to pop there, but almost a sick nade. Okay. Oh, he found bomb. Yeah, so he's kind of just doing his thing. I'm not gonna lie, he's just doing his thing this round. And this is also something as a cave player. Stat wise on Ancient on CT side, the best stat players are generally the Opper and either the mid player or the cave player, right? I mean, for every map, it's generally going to be the opper. But besides that, as far as rifling goes, it's either the cave player or the mid player. And as the cave player, yeah, I mean, he's just owning right now. As the cave player, if you give your cave player the freedom as a caller, let's say, you know, you tell me what you want in Cheetah, you have rounds where you do your thing. You have rounds where we set you up. You have rounds where you play really passive. And you give him like a lot of freedom to do what he wants in cave. Cave is one of those places where if you do have a lot of freedom, you can really frag out, because Cheetah is something that the T's are going to try to take almost every single round, which means you're probably getting a fight almost every single round, right? So yeah, I mean, if you give that cave player that freedom to kind of do what he wants, you can have games like this. And again, it's not like super consistent. Rain is having a really good game right now, and there's a reason why he doesn't always have really good games. It's because what he's doing right now is working. If it wasn't working, then I would be a little bit more critical of him. It looks like there's reasons why behind it, why it's working, I guess. Because, like, again, you know, Suhei walked in Cheetah alone, right? Rain should be abusing that. You shouldn't be going in Cheetah alone. There's all these little reasons why he's like actually playing good right now. But let's say he was playing against a normal team. That normal team is going to send like 2 or 3 in Cheetah. They're going to molly him out. They're going to flash, whatever. And he's going to go 1-for-1. And you don't want to go 1-for-1 on CT side. So again, it's like there's reasons for why he's doing really well right now. But if you copy paste what he's doing right now into your game, it won't work like all the time. I like that nade. That nade is actually super, super sick. So if the T's rush into Cheetah, he's just like owning them. He heard one close Cheetah. Oh. If you don't have that play, take it right now and put it into your team. That play is so good. Good spam. Did he hit him? No. Yeah, so that's one of the other things, too, you kind of need to take in your game as a Cheetah player is all those spams. So there's, like, mainly, like, 4 spams you want to go for in Cheetah. There's a spam down here. There's a spam down, if you go against this back wall, you crouch and you aim above the shadow. It goes all the way down to the box. There's a spam on this side. You can spam down towards bottom mid. And there's a spam right here. If you spam straight into this wall, it hits any T's standing up against here. So those are like the 4 main spams you want to do in Cheetah. And Rain is kind of just, you know, cycling out which ones he's doing. Sometimes he spams mid, sometimes he spams the box, sometimes he spams deep at the doors. So yeah, if you just keep all those spams in your game, oh, this is a great play. So they know the AK was Cheetah. Rain made noise falling off, and now he's making noise spamming the ramp, okay? So now Brolin and Yimfat are going to think that the cave player is long. Cave is probably clear. Yes, they're probably going to still clear all this out. But yeah, great bait from Rain. But Brokey only went 1-for-1, which opping in that spot, that's kind of what you're expecting. So he gets blinded off. He falls back. His 2 players are in mid right now, so he can't really afford to die here. If he dies, the round is pretty much over, and Frozen and Rops are forced to save. So he kind of wants to live here. If he can get a kill on Mao's coming on to site, that would be awesome. But, you know, that's not really what his job is right now. His job is just to live, delay for rotates. But he's still playing really aggressive. He got a flash behind from his teammate from Frozen. Okay, so he went 1-for-1. He has a guy on flank. Yep. Frozen gets that kill. Frozen really should have stopped fighting there, because Rops is on flank. They could have played a better 2v1 rather than Rops now being in a 1v1. And now that Rops isn't CT to help trade Frozen, Torji can kind of assume he's doing something weird, like going cave or going ramp. So pretty low chance that Rops wins this round, just because, you know, Frozen taking that fight and not getting traded means that Rops is doing something weird right now. Yeah. Normal molly. Normal nade. Let me guess, normal spam? Normal spam? It's done it like 4 rounds now. And it's not a bad start. And it's also something you want to take from like his playbook and maybe put into yours if you are a cave player, is Maos are smoking this a lot. And against better teams, you'll see this a lot as well. And there's a couple ways you could do about or go about this, and this is all protocol, right? So think of the amount of times Rain has seen the smoke after playing Cave for 3.5 years. He's maybe seen it 1,000 times, and he's probably had 10 different protocols that he can do off of the smoke over the course of the last 3.5 years playing. So after 3.5 years of playing Cave, everything that he has as a reaction for the smoke is going to be something that he's ran before, something that is well thought out, something that is generally going to be a protocol. Right, so this was his protocol this round. It gets smoked. He smokes a little deeper, and the thought process behind the smoke is it cuts off the B players from helping with mid, which is the goal of the T side on a default, is you want to get Cave slash Cheetah at the same time as having mid. And if you have that, then you kind of force the CTs back. You can mess with their rotations. You can do a B fake. It draws the B rotate over here. Now you know there's only 2 towards A and mid, and that gives you time to either try and split A or try and split through house. There's a lot of different ways you can mess with the rotations, but mainly on T side, this is the goal. So by Rain throwing this, he's really delaying the Ts. You probably won't see Maus do anything for another 20 seconds. They really shouldn't play through the smoke. Holy cow. Okay, no. Exertion was already 17 HP. Yeah. Roland just got dominated. Yeah, I would get out too. You don't want to stick around for too long. Oh my god. Yeah, he could have got caught out there that entire time. But now that he killed Brolin and there's no insta trade, you can assume that either the other team is gearing up to hit A, or they're gearing up to hit B ramp because they don't want to trade the Cheetah player. You know, Brolin kind of, it's not like a low percentage spam. It's a decent chance you get spammed, but Rain just hit like the insta headshot on the spam. But because there was no one close to try and trade Brolin or kill Rain on the gap that he left here when he was kind of reloading, hitting the walls, like fumbling around, like he really fumbled here. If there's another guy who's close, Rain's probably dies. That might be telling Rain, that might actually be misleading to Rain and kind of tell him that B might be clear. But again, so look at the thing that they're doing. So Brokey is playing on site, so is Rain. They're not doing 1-1. You'll see it in a lot of lower level teams or a lot of lower level players is they'll play 1-1, and then if the T's try and split B from Cave and Ramp, then it's like, oh no, I was in a 1v2 and I lost. Darn, didn't see that one coming, right? You know, it's like as the Cave player, as the site player, you want to be fighting things together. Because if you don't, I mean, yeah, you're giving yourself bad percentages. Rain, oh my god, he got out. That was massive. That was absolutely massive. If he's able to get one more, he did. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. But yeah, I mean, and think of what it's like playing against this. Think if you're Maus, right? Rain was just in Cave. Rain spams a bit. He makes a ton of noise, and then he instantly walks back, instantly comes over here, instantly re-aggresses down the ramp, and kills you down here, all within like 20 seconds, right? This is insane. This is actually insane, and this is what you want to be doing as the Cheetah player, is you want to make your pressure known in Cheetah, and then wherever you want to go, you want to go there kind of like undetected, and you know, you want to switch up your game. Pretty much do exactly the fundamentals that Rain is doing right now. So, okay, this is also pretty important. This is actually kind of funny as well. So, notice Rain's buy here. So he bought head armor, even though he knows the other team is all going to be on AKs, and pros will do this for a reason. He could buy a nade. He could also buy a smoke. He probably should buy a smoke. But the reason why he's not buying a nade and he doesn't have, or he has head armor instead, is because if he nades, wait, is Kerrigan about to nade it? No, he's about to molly it. So if he nades over here, that slows the T down to go into Cheetah, but because they're aggroing ramp, they don't actually want to slow this guy down. They want him to commit to Cheetah, right? They want him to get Cheetah fast. So that's one less person to deal with when they get down ramp. So that's probably a reason why he doesn't go for a nade here. As a Cheetah player, the nade is arguably one of the most important pieces of util, because you need it to slow down anyone who's going fast Cheetah. But yeah, I mean, a smoke would be useful as well. I don't really know why he didn't get a smoke. But it is what it is. FaZe are having a crazy A-hold right now. Rain's just holding the smoke. There was one guy B. Now that he's not B anymore, he runs through. Yep. And also something to be aware of. is this water in T-spawn is super noisy. I don't think it's through this tunnel, but this water is super, super noisy. And they can literally hear it. I think the radius on hearing that water is something like this, right? It's super, super big. And once you go over like here, it's probably more something like that, right? So anyone in like cave can hear you. It's insane. It's insane, that water. That's why you'll see Rain, when he ran through the tunnel, he started walking right here and then walked into T-spawn. Molly towards Cat. He missed it again. He's kind of trolling right now. He also didn't nade either. Goes for the smoke. One runs through. Of course, he gets the kill. I mean, he's been dominating Brolin and Cave this entire game so far. Yeah. And look at this. Look where Kerrigan is. B site is open. B site is open for the taking if Maus want to take it. But again, they're doubled up. This is what they should be doing. If Maus take B site, oh no, they took B site. We still have cave. All right, that is the thought process behind this. And this is something like, this is the biggest thing you guys should be learning from this demo and from this half is, as the cave player, as the B anchor, you don't need to always be holding cave and holding ramp at the same time, right? Just because you are the cheetah player and you are the site player doesn't mean that is your job the entire round, right? Your job is to be doubled up with your teammate and fight one side of the split. Give yourself the highest % chance of holding the site. That is your job. You are not the site player. You are not the cave player. You are the person who is dealing with cave, the person who's dealing with site, but you're also the person who is the anchor on the site. You're trying to give your team the best percentages of holding the site, which means you need to double up and fight one side of the split. That is all they're doing here. This entire half, that's all they've been doing. They've been doubling up. Rain has been playing like pretty aggressive in cheetah, but it's something that Maus wasn't expecting, and I'm assuming it was a little bit of an anti-strat, because again, this is kind of unorthodox. Playing solo in cave, right? Where in a place where you can get mollied very easily, flash very easily, you can just go 1-for-1, you can get cleared, and again, 4v4's favorite tease, so you don't want to go 1-for-1 in cave. So there's a lot of reasons why this half went the way that it did, why Rain is literally 17-4. But it comes down to like when the fundamentals need to be done, he was doing them, and when the other team expected them to be doing the fundamentals, Rain did the opposite, and yeah, caught them off guard pretty well. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much going to be it for the demo, guys. If you want to get coaching, I do offer coaching on my Metafy, which I will link down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. I've been kind of slacking the last few days on videos. My bad. I'll get back into it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one, and have a good rest of your day.